Hey guys, my name is Dr. Avanthika Chaithanya. I am a 23 cycle PEDS match applicant, and this is my first time going into the match. So I did have a lot of trouble when it comes to actually formulating my ERAS CV. I learned a lot along the way with a lot of tips and tricks given to me by my seniors, by my friends, and I'm really excited to be sharing them here today on Match Resident. So let's begin. So the first question that was normally asked to me was, what is the difference between work and volunteer experience? Because, there's a gray area between both of them and we don't know what comes under what. So the general consensus on this, as far as what I've realized, is that for anywhere where you've either trained or you have received any kind of monetary compensation is comes under work, whereas somewhere you have worked for like an organization where you have not received any monetary compensation, that comes under volunteer. Now, the question that most people had was, do we put our clerkships, externships, all of these under work or volunteer? And the advice given to me was to put them under work, but observerships still remained a gray area. Some people chose to put them under volunteer, some people chose to put them under work. So I didn't really get a consensus on that because a lot of people told me different things. But if you do know, let me know in the comments because this is something that I was also a little bit confused about. Another thing about the ERA CV that I learned along the way was how many experiences should I put and how significant must those experiences be if I need to put them on my ERA CV. So the golden rule for this is quality over quantity anytime. If there is a very significant experience, definitely put it on. If you were part of an organization, for example, you're volunteering with an organization where you spearheaded, led, participated in multiple campaigns, put them on. But if you're just part of an organization and haven't really done any work for them, maybe it's not a really good idea to put that on your CV because you really don't have anything to say as to what you did in that experience. So definitely quality over quantity, anything that's significant to you and anything that kind of perks up the interest of a reader when they're actually reading your CV for the first time, that's something that definitely has to be there on your CV. Another thing, what was recommended to me was to use numbers. So, for example, if I said that while I was volunteering, I conducted multiple health camps, I was recommended to say instead of multiple, how many health camps I've actually conducted. So, if I've conducted 10 health camps, I would say that I volunteered with this organization and conducted 10 health camps rather than saying multiple, because that sounds a bit more specific and a bit less vague. Another thing definitely is to use passive tone and don't use the word I. So when you're writing your CV, don't say I volunteered or I worked under so and so. Rather say that volunteered with this organization or worked with so and so. So remove the phrase I. That makes it more professional, and that's something that is expected while you're reading a professional CV. Another way to definitely get more advice about your CV is to ask your mentors or people who already matched to go through it. Definitely, they would have gone through the same process themselves, so they'll be in a much better position to give you any advice regarding how you can improve your CV. The last thing what I would recommend is professional edits. The professional edits are very, very, very important. I realized the importance of professional edits when I used Master Residence Residency Expert Services. They took my CV and edited it after 2 to 3 days of time, and I could see a very, very huge difference between what I'd written versus the edited version. I'll be sharing a few examples of how the editing looked as well, so that you guys can definitely look as to whether you want to take a professional editing service help. But that's something that I would recommend because we're all doctors and we're definitely not professional editors or writers. So definitely taking help of someone or an editor or a service, anyone you want to make it more professional would definitely be appreciated. And of course, make sure to use bullet points or, just make sure to split whatever you're writing into sentences rather than putting it into one whole paragraph, because that's something that I also heard, that putting them in paragraphs just sounds like a story. And, you don't really have to explain what you found meaningful in that experience because they've already done that in your supplemental. So ERAS CV is all about just listing down points of what you've done. So it's always better to list them in bullets or in numbers or in any format. You can use dashes, anything you want. But I did hear that paragraphs were not something that they really liked. So yeah, these are the couple of tips and tricks that I learned along the way. Hopefully, I have not missed out on anything. If I have, please do let me know. And stay tuned for my math journey as I keep you guys updated on how my math cycle is going. Bye and have a great day.